now we're gonna move on. We're gonna hit y'all with, of course, what we got to close out with the Bravos. As y'all see, Big Hank in the back. We have traded Anderson to the Los Angeles Angels for left-handed pitcher Jose Suarez. Of course, this is interesting to me because Ron Washington, our former first base coach, is the manager there. Us getting a left-handed pitcher back, I think, is a good thing. We're in the process of trying to put together a pitching staff so that we can be competitive. Reg, what's your thoughts on this one?
Shout out to the Angels becoming the Braves reclamation team. So
we're sure to send you to Washington.
Ian Anderson was supposed to be like the third person in rotation between Strider and up until he was traded Max Fried, or up until he signed in free agency, Max Fried, third overall pick. He was part of the 2021 World Series and pitched a win, 5-inning shutout. But then he had Tommy John surgery the next year. And he's just never been the same with his control. He gave up 4 straight home runs before they finally traded him, like in a minor league game. He just never got his control. And it's sad because of the Tommy John. Hopefully this second chance is kind of like Chris Sale for us, where he gets a fresh start with a familiar face. We wish him nothing but the best. But it had to be done. Now Suarez, I don't know who you are, big dog. Ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey,
I tried to look you up. They ain't got really nothing but a 6.01 ERA, which is concerning. Which means you are bullpen probably.
But just like you said with Ian Anderson, we wish you the best. We also have no issues with you possibly coming back. Familiar face for the umpteenth million time. Jesse Chavez was with the Rangers. They released him. And yes, this is the 43rd time in a row we brought Jesse Chavez back to the Atlanta Braves. We have no problem spending the block, and his block is always available to be spent. So he's back. Again.
Shout out to Jesse Chavez. This ain't nothing but a Walmart greeter job for him. You know them old folks when they retire, right before they retire or after they retire, they get the little Walmart greeter. He take the minimum wage. He come in, he pitch an inning. He don't even be pitching an inning sometimes. Now he will if we hurt, but normally he comes in and just gets like a
friend of the program, man.
Type of batter out
of the program. Friend of the
he gets a specific type of batter out. Like and that's it. And he gonna do it every time. He's very consistent. So yeah, shout out to
y'all hiring. Y'all, and you know what? We're gonna see you next season.
45. You know, we'll pay you if you do something. You pay into your geriatric years.
Speaking of, we'll see you next year or maybe not. Jared Kelenic is reportedly livid that Braves signed Alex Verdugo, formerly New York Yankee chain wearer. Jared Kelenic, I'm gonna be very, very honest with you.
You go first, because I've been trying to say the same thing.
Shut up! You barely here now. They already went and got Profar. We got Verdugo. Now, this is the thing. You can either be quiet on a good team or you can be loud on a sorry-ass team. And for me, it don't make me no never mind. Whatever you want to do. Bro, this is the only team I got. And you think I'm finna play with you? Boy, you'll be a fired ass playing with me.
Bruh, it's 3 spots. It's 1 spot in the outfield for 4 people. You couldn't have thought you were the person that was going to get it. We brought in 2 other people. Listen, it's Ronald Acuna when he's healthy, Mike Harris, and a platoon. You ever heard of a platoon clinic? That's what you are. You are on a platoon. We literally will rotate y'all until whoever's doing well. Now, you want to be mad and be bad and do all, hey, get out of here. Cool. We're not sending you to the Dodgers. We ain't sending you nowhere good,
home. Or you can go home.
No, because we don't want you to sign with the Dodgers. We're gonna send you to. We're gonna send you to
the Dodgers neither. Let me tell you that. See,
yeah, they pretty set actually.
Right. Let me tell you, bro. And if you think you
Anaheim, what y'all got? Y'all got something else? Oakland. Send us another player.
I'm not sending Ron Washington nobody who don't know how to act. Now, Ron ain't going. Now you know
some players now.
He'll be the only athletic left. Let me tell you that. But you either gonna get right or you'll get left, Jared Kelenic. And I'm gonna tell you, I was one of 2 people on the planet who was like, you know what? This guy's not terrible. Let's keep him around. But let me tell you, we looking for high character players over here and people without problems. You're doing too much talking and not enough playing. Let me tell you that. We don't care.
Forgetful. Your name is forgetful, Kelenic. Up until this report, I had not said anything.
Go.
I had no clue who you were. I was like,
just like
Kelenic,
I removed you
here.
from the screen, we will remove you from this team. You ain't gotta be here. The door is open. Now, in better news, and something that y'all hear us in the podcast with, well, not almost every time, is More Black Baseball. The Braves had added catcher Drake Baldwin to the opening day roster. You know how much we champion black baseball players. This is exciting. We do know Sean Murphy's having a little bit of health issues, so this is fantastic for us on two ends. I think a guy who's actually a pretty good baseball player, and like we always say, we want to see more black baseball players. This checks all the boxes for the SplashCast. What you got, Reg?
Hey, man, this is his opportunity. He's a catcher, right?
Correct.
Right, behind Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy has been hurt every season he's been here. Now, when he's not hurt, he's good. But I think it's been 3 years now. He's been hurt for a significant amount of time every season. So you're going to have an opportunity to play. You're going to have an opportunity to make an impact. You're going to have an opportunity to get used to all the pitchers because we let go of Darno. Darno's in
exactly
with the Angels, ain't he?
I don't know. He ain't with us no more, unfortunately. Hey, no.
I mean,
nothing but respect to him. But you're exactly right. This is an opportunity. This is probably an opportunity going forward as long as you play well and shut up. I don't really like to tell people to shut up and play their sport, but it's the Braves. Shut up and do your job. We want rings and trophies around here. We play team ball, but I'm excited for him. I've been watching. I was hoping that he was going to be the guy who got the opportunity, and he did. Anthopoulos, you my boy. I don't know what else to say, man. You my boy.
Hey, SplashCast listeners, are you ready to dive into some exciting opportunities with us? The SplashCast is now open for brand partnerships, advertisements, and sponsorships. We want your business to make a splash with our audience. Picture your brand reaching all of our loyal and passionate listeners who love our weekly content. From HBCU news around the culture to our splashes of the week, we cover it all. If you're looking for a dynamic platform to showcase your products or services, look no further. Reach out to us at diveteammedia@gmail.com. That's diveteammedia@gmail.com. Or visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com for more details.
The only other thing that I don't know what to say about is your Atlanta Hawks.
Hawks. We beating the teams we supposed to beat. That's all that matter.
We this week we have beat the Hornets, who are a flaming bag of garbage. No Brandon Miller, LaMelo sometimes, and LaMelo didn't play, and PJ Washington didn't play. So we played. They were literally G League team. Beat those guys. We beat them 134-102. It ain't really much to say when a team is literally just anybody you can find. You got any insightful Yoda-like thoughts on that?
Y'all see how I try to be positive? We beat the teams we supposed to beat. That's how I frame that. Positive.
Yeah.
Because if we would have lost it, what did I tell you about the 76ers? When the 76ers
we're gonna get there. We're making our way right.
No, I have nothing to say about Charlotte. We won.
Next,
there's nothing spectacular about that game.
Spectacular.
Big Z and Okongwu. Both of them been balling.
We're gonna cover that once we get done. Next up, we beat the Golden State Warriors, and they did not have Steph. And I don't know what this like. They got the rookie Quentin Post playing center, and apparently he's a really good 3-point shooter. I don't know exactly what Moses Moody is or isn't. He is one of them. Him and Jonathan Kuminga are just. It's like they're in purgatory. Like we see flashes of both of them, but they just can't seem to get on the Steve Kerr groove. And I don't know what to say. I also don't think that Steve Kerr is the best developer of talent either. So what you think about that one? or just it's a game we should have
Shout
won.
out to the Hawks for winning. Sucks for Jimmy Butler because when Steph is hurt, you went from the Miami Heat to the Golden State Heat. That's all it was that was out there, was just a new version of the Miami Heat. Except for instead of Bam, you had Draymond. Instead of what's the 3-point shooter?
No, I ain't gonna say that.
What's my man 3-point shooter? What's my man 3-point shooter?
Oh, Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero?
Duncan Robinson, you got Moses Wudo. You got Moses Moody. Instead of Tyler Hero, you're supposed to have Jonathan Kuminga. Like that team, they may not play the same positions, but they have the same roles. That team without Steph Curry, we were supposed to beat them. That's the Miami Heat to me.
I'm not gonna say that they're the Miami Heat.
Rozier,
I personally think the Miami Heat are a flaming bag of garbage. And their record minus Jimmy Butler says so. The Warriors, you still have Draymond Green, future Hall of Famer, we assume. Moses Moody for whatever varying degree.
You just said you didn't know what he is.
Yes, but I think that I want Moses Moody instead of Duncan Robinson. I want Jonathan Kuminga instead of Tyler Hero.
Why do you want Moses Moody instead of Duncan Robinson?
Because Duncan Robinson is a one-trick pony who was overpaid and should have never actually been on this team. I think that Duncan Robinson has been a scam for as long as a scam could have been a scam.
From a basketball standpoint, they're the same person. They shoot threes and play mediocre to bad defense.
No, I just strongly disagree. But you're entitled to your opinion. I have Duncan Robinson, boy. You damn near Davis Bertans. They both had one good season. They was like, oh, he's gonna be good. No, he ain't. And then you still got Buddy Hield. I think that he probably done in Golden State at the end of the season. But I mean, Buddy also started the season out on fire, and then he just cooled off and then never got hot again.
Which is the same story for him every year. Every year he start off, he be like, dang, he's shooting Buddy Hield going crazy.
Buddy shooting that thing, and then just never shot it again.
All-star break happened, and he go boo-boo for the rest of the year. Same thing. Why Pacers trade him?
Yeah. So once again, another game that I think that we should have won. And then shout out to Brad Rowland, Locked On Hawks, fantastic Hawks podcast to listen to as well. He called the Sixers the Zombie Sixers. I don't know if there's a more appropriate name for that team because they are
awful.
and you can look and maybe I'm tripping. He said they had 9 players available. I only saw 8 sweatsuits. And I was like, boy, where the rest of y'all team at? They are terrible.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you when you was like, you text me, said the Hawks, the 76ers only have 8 players. I said, Hawks only going to win by 4. Now, we ended up winning by a lot, but they cut it down in the second half to like 6 points.
Hawks will definitely play down to their competition, given the opportunity. This is just a low bar of competition in play. You've never heard of Justin Edwards before. You don't know where he came from or where he's going. Yabusele, the only thing that anybody knows about him is, he's a large human. Not a tall human.
You know him from the Olympics.
A large human. Chuma Okeke, flaming back of garbage.
Yeah, Westlake.
Oh, my bad. Jeff Doughton.
No, I mean, he's not good, but he's in the NBA, so we'll take him.
Alex Reese, number 60. I said, who is that? Boy. But overall, this is just a very terrible Sixers team. We beat them, and I think we beat them handily. But I also don't like that Trey played 33 minutes in this game. It shouldn't have been necessary. And y'all call me a Trey hater. I don't care.
Okay.
I think that Trey likes to stay in and play empty stat minutes so that he can pad his stats. Because I've seen this happen multiple times where it's at the end of the game, we've beaten the team, and once he's in his bag, he's like, oh, let me torture him. But then we also miss games for sore Achilles and stuff like that. we could get out at 28 minutes. We should be doing that.
You think Trey is the only superstar that does that or star that does that? I think every star does it.
Yes, but my issue is we're not playing certain games because of sore Achilles. Yeah. And the other part is, you know who they don't do that with? Zachary Risache. When he hit his number, I don't care. The world could be on fire. Risache not playing no more.
Ammo guy. Yeah, but they also, both of them were hurt. Like, guy had the back. Risache
had with dual sore Achilles. If you're hurt, then you need to sit down. We need to be saving you because there are 11 games left in the season. And I don't think it's realistic that we can get to 6. But, boy, we need to be doing our damnedest to try.
Did you watch this game?
Yes, from beginning to end.
It wasn't every time he sat down, the lead went from 20 to 10 to 8 to 12 to 11. Like, unfortunately, us not having a backup point guard really I like Veet, but I mean him running the backup point guard really ain't working.
Veet got to come out of there. He ain't playing enough, and I think the Veet is still hurt. That's the reason. But there are there's other combination of guys who you can play.
Who?
Terrence Mann, Karis LeVert, George Niang.
They tried that. They tried all of them at the one, not Niang, but they tried Terrence Mann as a backup one. You remember that didn't work out. Like, and he ain't been here.
But what I'm saying is Veet's defense across the board, win or lose, Veet ain't been there defensively in the way. Buffkin is hurt, unfortunately. And Buffkin's hurt. Yeah, if he wasn't hurt, he would be great. Unfortunately, for the last 2 seasons, we haven't had any Buffkin, which is tragic because that's what we need. We got to have a backup point guard. It is of the utmost importance, and I think that Buffkin is good if he could play. The issue is he is literally never available. Next up, I'm going to talk about Reggie's favorite player, not Reggie's favorite haircut.
Well, I don't like him per se, but he's growing. On me, pause if necessary. Him talking shit to Quentin Grimes. I was like, oh yeah, all right, that ain't too bad now.
George Niang is a guy that is he's
with his mind.
He's kind of to me like a Trae Young guy, and I'll tell you why. When he's on your team and playing well, let me tell you, it's not that bad, but he talks cash shit all the time. He told Quentin Grimes, hey, the only reason you're out here doing this is because there's no Tyrese and no Joel. If Joel's here, you're in the corner. If Tyrese is here, in the corner. You're a role player just like me.
Quentin Grimes said, yo, you shut up. You're a role player. And Niang was like, word.
Excuse me, say what? Hey, my name is
you be in the corner. Shut your ass up. I said, oh, this is for real.
Now, I will say the guy losing Hunter, he's played pretty well for Cleveland, but LeVert, Mann, and Niang talk that
they
shit.
They jump you.
Yes. And that's the reason I look back on the trade and we got rid of 2 what I would call integral players, but we got 3 very solid players back. Long term, I don't know if Niang fits. I think he's the guy you probably trade, especially if he continues to play like this. Versus 76ers, 20 points, 6 and 9 field goals, 5 of 8 from 3. Versus the Warriors, 23 points, 8 of 11 field goals, 6 and 9 from 3. If you're a team who needs shooting and a guy who don't mind being an asshole, Niang's not the worst guy in the world. And as much as he's not a great small forward, I will say this until the cows come home, he's just a better power forward, in my opinion, in a pinch than DeAndre Hunter. So I don't hate that trade.
He is not a better power forward, in my opinion. But I will say the thing about Niang that, again, that's changing my mind, the factor that he's talking a lot of trash. He's kind of like Solo Cup, Solomon Hill, is the
Very
fact
much
that
so.
when he gets hot, like against the Golden State Warriors, he ain't hit no threes in the first quarter. In the first half, he hit 5 in the third quarter, and he was hitting them like he caught the ball and didn't bring it down and just.
Oh, that's he knows his role is I'm open, shoot it. If you can put him out there with a combination of Okongwu, Niang, Risache, Dyson, and Trey, well, you have the spacing because you got to respect Trey.
Yeah, he been cooking.
And then at that point, Niang is like, you got to respect Risache too, because Risache will get hot. He scored 13. He scored 16 points, and I think the Sixers had 13 points in the same little time. So once you got that, Niang is like, oh, this is my time. Just throw me the ball. Just throw it to me. I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna shoot it, and I'm gonna make it. That's the like.
Yeah,
if he's open,
he hit that step back. When he hit the step back, I was like, oh, okay.
He's a shooter.
Where you are.
And I mean, regular season from 3-point, he's 42% from 3. That's what I was trying to convince you of. It's like, hey, man, I know it. Sometimes it looks bad.
He's awful on defense.
He looks slew-footed, slow-footed. All of that.
Drive to the basket, I'd be like, dang.
But if you can surround him with serviceable defenders and a little bit of spacing, then he can do the. I mean, he bad body. He body. He wear a t-shirt when he go to the pool. Let me tell you.
But when it's Trey, Karras, and then him, it's like, oh well, y'all can't stop either one of them because Trey gonna get to the line. Karras he can create his own shot, and at that point we got Okongwu who now can do what he did, and we'll get there. All he has to do is just float to the top of the key, shoot, or go to the corner. Shoot,
and you're right.
Every time.
And if you don't have Dyson there, you have Trey, Karras, Risache, Niang, Okongwu.
Yeah, ain't nothing. Now defense, we a little rough, but
Karras is serviceable on defense. Okongwu cleans up. Risache gonna play. You got Niang and Trey out there. Hey, we gotta score more points in them. That's really the answer. You have to understand, y'all. Hey, it's gonna be easy buckets for whoever open, but you gotta hit the shots. That's really the key as far as that goes. And then since we were talking about talking trash, this is Karras LeVert. And let's see. So that is Karras LeVert, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green. Karras was telling Jonathan Kuminga that he's ass, and he might well be sometimes. And Karras was cooking, and Kuminga really didn't have an answer for him. But then Draymond pulled a big joke talking about you got traded 7 times, which is also factually accurate. So you can't be mad. Karras, you are an NBA journeyman. You were cooking Kuminga, and Draymond scooped, flew in to save the day. I mean,
there are a lot of truths. There are a lot of truths told in that little exchange.
Hold on.
I don't think.
Shout out to Legends NBA. Y'all, if y'all don't follow them on Twitter, they put out the best video recordings, crystal clear, of everything that we've ever wanted to hear. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, if there's a lot of truth told. Now, I don't think Kuminga is ass, but I do think Karras LeVert can cook him, which he was. And I do think Kuminga saying, hey, but you can't.
We saw it. We saw it.
I don't think Karis LeVert, if Kuminga was featured, could guard Kuminga. Kuminga's too big. Pause if necessary. So there's that. And then Draymond swooping in and saying you've been traded 7 times. That's true too. Now, what I don't need is
17's wanted me though.
What I don't need is Trey to say relax. They just talking shit, Dre. No. Karis. My response is, bro, you wouldn't even be in the league without Steph. You should send everything that's yours a replica to Steph's side. Like that. At the end of the day, whether you believe that or not, I ain't gonna sit there and say you've been traded 7 times, yeah, bro, and you deserve your whole career deserves to be at Steph Curry. Who's Steph Curry? You have no rings, no nothing without being.
You can talk to a Hall of Famer, but he might Jordan Poole you. Question, since I'm kind of spitballing here. Karis LeVert for Jonathan Kuminga. Would you make that happen or no?
On this team? I don't know. Salary wise, I don't think that would match up because he wants to get paid. He's due for an extension, ain't he?
Who else we paying?
Trey. I'm about to pay Trey.
No.
For Jonathan Kuminga. That means you play Kuminga at the 4.
I mean,
I don't know how that works because he's gonna want to start.
He ain't starting now.
You got Draymond. You got Jalen. You got Ricochet. You'd have to play Ricochet. Then you got Dyson. Yeah, nah. I mean, I don't know how. If you come off the bench, then sure. I mean, that gives us potency at the 4 off the bench.
Or the 3. That's the reason I do like Karis LeVert. I want to be very clear. I like Karis LeVert. I did not like him before he became an Atlanta Hawk. Seeing what he's done here, he is a guy who's right at the point. He's right at a point of especially with the way that the NBA is set up now with the second apron and him being a very reasonable contract. Those guys, and I've been trying to tell y'all this for as long as the second apron has been around. Those guys are going to be infinitely more valuable now. The guy who you're going to pay $14, $15 million and can do what Karis LeVert does, that guy, that's the reason I'm looking and say, all right, I see Terrence Mann, George Niang, and Karis LeVert. These are assets now. You can trade and get guy back because we're going to have money once the TV deal pops in. Jalen Johnson's $30 million. It's not a crazy contract. We got rid of Bogey. We got rid of Hunter. And we're going to have some money now. I don't want to give all my money to Trey, to be completely honest with you. But, I'm looking at...
I don't think we are.
If you're the Warriors, would you probably take Karis LeVert and George Niang for Jonathan Kuminga?
No. Because
depth.
Yeah, but they be giving up pause. They give up more size. They're already not. I mean, their centers are.
You got to go back into the draft.
Davis's son, and
they need a legit big. You need a large, not a big. Pause. You need a large. You need a human who's 7 foot. Y'all have gone the longest without getting somebody who is legitimately on. But I've also seen a lot of interest in John Collins to Golden State, which he ain't a big, but I think he would be tall enough for them.
If I were them and you really wanted to make that trade, I would get Karis LeVert and probably Clint Capella. That would at least give you somebody serviceable to be tall and get rebounds.
You're right.
Because Dre gonna do what Dre does.
Right.
And so I would do that, but the Hawks are gonna lose Capella anyway. But I would do that for sure. Because then now we gonna go to the draft. They got us drafting a center and a wing anyway.
And Clint, that gets you to a good place. And you're sending them to the West Coast. Sign and trade makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But, here's what it is.
Okay. But that was just my thing. I was looking man, Kuminga I don't think that he sucks.
He's fresh air. He's some fresh air.
But he's definitely due for a rotation. Speaking of a guy who don't need anything. Dyson Daniels, youngest player since 1973 to record 200 steals in a season. We are now getting into the rare conversations that involve the 70s when defense was respectfully called defense. When you're playing that level of defense, I think you're the defensive player of the
year. Yeah, and I'm happy that he's starting to get the respect from everybody. And the old heads are like calling him out, saying like Tony Allen, who just got the grind father. Ooh, that sounds crazy. From the grind house, crazier. In Memphis, talking about he loves Draymond and Evan Mobley, but the guy in Atlanta is probably his defensive player of the year, and he's considered one of the best on-ball defenders of all time. And for him to call out Dyson Daniels, and now other players are frustrated, and you're starting to see like
5 steals, 76ers, 5 steals, 3 steals in the first quarter.
But even against like players, like I said earlier, James Harden cooked him. Well, then when you go back and look at the numbers, I mean, he playing well against Dyson Daniels is shooting like 38-40%.
Right.
Like he's doing stuff like holding people to like 15-20% for the game.
And you got and you're out, like, I know y'all whatever, but Trey's out there. So they're trying to get to Trey. So you're having to fight through to keep your guy to make sure y'all don't get cooked. That's not the easy thing to do.
You said that James Harden knows how to like disappear on defense to where he's not being taken advantage of. The last 3 games, albeit trash teams, I noticed that Trey, every time they try to get him in a pick and roll, or they try to switch him, he sprints out the way.
Y'all too sorry. That's what I do. Like when you identify, hey, you too sorry to do this to me. Because before we would get the Tom Saturansky career highs. You're right. You have like that's what I need from you. Well, Ish Smith go for 27 and 8. You're like, bro, how? Who? But that's the thing, is you guys suck too bad to kick my ass. We ain't having that. You no. And that's the thing, is I need you $50 million to look like a world beater against. I don't think anybody on that Sixers team legitimately is coming back. Quentin Grimes included. He don't need to be there. He needs
they need to, well, they're gonna try to pair him with Maxey though.
If I'm Quentin Grimes, send me to Miami. If I'm Quentin Grimes, send me to Orlando.
I would say Orlando. They got Tyler Hero in Miami. Unless you think Hero gonna run the 1.
No,
he runs
time for you. Tyler Hero's a shooting slump. He's playing terrible. It's time to move on from Tyler Hero too. Let's be real. Tyler Hero
All-star over Trey. All-star over Trey, you stupid people.
And no. You ain't even. I said, oh, Tyler Hero, no. He butt cheeks. Not in a million years. Tyler Hero can't do anything but just shoot when Jimmy's on the floor. He's not a facilitator and a defender. At least Trey is a scorer and an elite, the most elite facilitator. Also, shout out to Trae Young. He's had the most assists ever for a season for him. There are 11 more games to go. Dyson Daniels over 200 steals with 11 more games to go. It is a tad bit unfortunate that we don't have Jalen Johnson for this season.
Oh, my. And he tweeted out, I just want to hoop. He tweeted out, I just want to hoop. Oh, wait. Go back to the odds. So this was the defensive player of the year odds. And, of course, your defensive rating is the lower the rating, the better. So Evan Mobley has the lowest defensive rating at 108. And then Dyson Daniels has the highest at 114. But then he also has the most steals per game at 3.
And he's probably guard. He has the toughest defensive assignment every night. Perimeter scorers just score more than post players. Dyson's getting the NBA's basically best every night. There's no night where you don't have an elite scorer on the floor.
That's a wild picture of Draymond, by the way.
Right.
And of course, so Evan Mobley is who they're really pushing. If you can tell when the powers that be start pushing people to be to try to like get them the season awards. Evan Mobley's a really good defender. He's also next to Jared Allen. But I mean, his defensive rating is good, and they're the number one team. They reward you if it's close. They always go with the record. Draymond Green's Draymond, but I don't think he's going to win it because they're tired of Draymond.
Well, no, they're until today. If you look at all the news today, Draymond Green's now in front, which I think is nuts. But
and then Jaren Jackson Jr.
But I think the
impact is Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels, the amount of steals and deflections he has, I can't understand how you respectfully you can't consider these other guys. He's changed 100 more possessions than the next guy. 100. Between steals and deflections. I mean, SGA is at like 118 and Dyson's at 200 and something. So everybody that's like 4, 5, 6, he's doubling on steals. And a lockdown defender. It's not like he's a guy who's just a grifter. I'm sitting in passing lanes like you see Joker. Joker's up there. Joker's not an elite defender. He sits in passing lanes and does what he does at 7 feet tall. Dyson Daniels is locking up your best offensive player and then also just pestering them into giving the ball up 3 times in the first quarter. Shout out to the Sixers. Not having Jalen Johnson it hurts. I don't have anything other than that good to say about that. That just
We can get to Okongwu now because Okongwu, ever since you said we just have to get rid of Okongwu, he has been on a tear, and this is just over the last 3 games where he's averaged 18 points, 12 rebounds, I'll round up 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 50, 40, 90 splits, plus 9.3 plus minus. 50, 40, 90 is crazy. And it's really 60, 40, 90 because he had 58%. And I think over his last like 15 games, he's had like 13 or 14 double-doubles. Like with like 5, 20, 10 games in there. You're not
gonna like my answer.
He is cooking.
Trade
him. No, I know that's your answer.
When an asset has peaked, when an asset is at the absolute highest value that it can be, trade him. Trade him. Trade him. Trade him. Trade him. Trade him. Realistically, he ain't that good. I like Okongwu a lot. He ain't that good. He's playing that well. You trade him. You get as much as you can for an asset. He's still undersized. Now, he might be a guy who you can get to Golden State. I don't know what they have.
And we have no bigs.
No. We're going
That's why you can't trade him. You can't trade unless you go who Clint's already out. Clint is out
the door.
He out of there. Only other big we got is Barlow.
Soft. Like offensively, solid. Defensively, he's not there. Okongwu to me is undersized, and you're right. That's the reason I keep looking at these drafts. I see, I think his name is Maluk, the starting center for Duke. And y'all know who I want. Danny Wolf.
Yeah.
Now, I might be more okay with keeping him if we go get Danny Wolf. And I would like Asa Newell from Georgia. I think that just adding some size.
He's 6'9".
Yes, power forward. He's back up power forward. That will be my bench. Newell, Moge, Danny Wolf. Because I think that Wolf's ability to pass for me is elite. And I think that will help us out a lot. Even though Okongwu is getting better at that. He's much better in the short roll. he shows you what Clint can't do well. That's the one thing I can say that he does. Is he makes it very easy to be like, you know what? I tell you who ain't Clint Capella.
Yeah,
Clint Capella
you're right about that.
can't.
I didn't think about it till you just said it. His finishing around the rim with both hands, that was impressive. And now he's shooting 40% from three. Is just astounding.
He's not that either. But what he is you can't leave him. Like Clint, shoot it. Okongwu makes just enough of them that you're like, okay, I don't want to step out there, but he's made 2 of them. If I let him make 3,
yeah,
the coach will be mad. We gotta watch tape on this. At the end of the day, you know it's tape. Son, you saw him make 2. You just let him make 3. And then as soon as you do that, he makes that pass. The extra pass that Clint can't make. He makes that every time.
his
Even in the pick and
anticipation
roll.
on defense.
Even in the pick and roll with Muhammad Gay. If you really collapse,
boom. Gay are good.
Boom.
Now I will say his anticipation on defense, it was already like it was kind of like his superpower. It's kind of innate how he could play the center. You have to have that to be 6'8". But this last month and a half, like it don't matter who you are. It don't if you try to dunk on him, you try to do that little floater. Like the only time that he gets in trouble is when it like Paolo. Like you can't, ain't nothing you can do with Paolo. You can't do nothing with Franz, you know. But if you are his height or smaller, he blocking that shot.
And or really I mean, he ain't no slouch against the Palos. I mean, the Bam Adebayos. My real issue is Brook Lopez, Joel Embiid, Joker.
You know how I feel. Joel on his way out.
I mean, okay, but what I'm saying is more of the people who, like, I'm not really concerned about him versus like Bam or somebody like that. It's the Anthony Davises of the world, bro. Then I just feel like he's not, huh?
It's a 7-footers that ain't good against them.
Yes, that's the part that kind of you're like, but there are just guys who are too big for him to deal with, and you're like,
now that's where we do need pause size. We do need size. That's where you got to go get the 7'3" guy like Zach Edey on this team. He's good on Memphis, but him off the bench here behind Okongwu,
just the insurance policy. Whoa! Hey, this what you want to do? Let me go get my. Hey, I'll be right back. I got a guy for you, and that's the reason I think I see some like. I'm not in love with the kid from Duke as our center or like drafting him. But I understand that with this, that works. And in Moge, I really enjoy watching Moge play basketball. Because he gives a ton of effort. And you can see, I can see how you could trick yourself into being like, he could be it, but he just doesn't have enough experience.
You know who I would like to see the Hawks get? I'm sorry, this is my last point. I just looked them up. That kid from Maryland, that's 6'11".
Not getting there. Not gonna be there. Not gonna be there. We don't have a pick. He gonna be top 10-ish. Derek Queen is who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be top something. It's top 10, top 5. But
how did you get prepared for this?
I'm from
Baltimore.
You got it, big dog. Yeah. You been hanging around Angel Reese. That's an Angel Reese answer right there. But that's a Baltimore answer. But yeah, a player like that, it would be great to pair with Okongwu because he does everything that Okongwu can do, but at 6'10". Offensively, defensively, Okongwu's by himself.
And I mean, that's the reason I like Danny Wolf. Is Danny Wolf can play with the Okongwu, or he can play with Jalen. I want a guy who can kind of be an inner. Then you really have some.
But you do whatever you want. You put Risha at the 4 at that point. You do whatever. You do whatever.
Right, because you have passing, and then that opens up.
Yeah, then go get me Kuminga. You do that, then go get me Kuminga off the bench. Hey,
right, or
no.
Or Karras, like at that point, hey man, Karras is a bucket.
I've been saying that. He was a bucket at Michigan, and I was like, bro, the Hawks need to draft him. The Hawks need to get him. The Hawks need to get him. And I was like, when he was a free agent, I was like, sign him. And we never did. And I was like, bro, he's exactly what we need off the bench.
I like him.
Somebody that can get a bucket.
And I think he likes playing in Atlanta because he gets the bogey treatment. Oh, everybody go on. Relax. I can do this. And he got a mid-range, get to the bucket, shoot the three, solid defender. When I see guys who playing that well, I immediately be like, okay, what can I get back? What can what can you get? What can you get me? Yes. And I mean, I want us to be a little bit more aggressive on. I think that the Hawks just hold assets too long, so we don't get much back for them, which we just historically have.
John Collins is definitely the example of that. If you were going to move John Collins, you should have moved him a year before you did.
Right. Even Clint, we're going to not get anything back from Clint.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if not for the Lakers situation, we probably could have, but we just couldn't do that.
Hey, SplashCast fans, are you ready to take your obsession to the next level? Join the SplashCast community on Instagram and our own Facebook page for an immersive experience like never before. Get in on the action with lively discussions, fiery debates, and a community that's as passionate as you are. Our social media platforms are buzzing with the latest podcast news, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with fellow SplashCast enthusiasts. Dive into the conversation, share your thoughts, and be part of something bigger. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, or go to www.splashcast.com to join now. Speaking of Falcons,
draft card myself.
Julio Jones. I kind of figured this with the way that he left, even though when he left, it was time for him to go. But Julio and the Falcons don't really get along, apparently, according to Jamal Lewis, who is one of the more famous, not Jamal Lewis. Jamal Anderson. Dirty Bird, 1998 Falcons said, don't count on Julio being back in town with the Atlanta Falcons anytime soon. If you know, he famously missed the Matt Ryan jersey retirement and Ring of Honor induction, and basically Julio, if he's inducted into the Ring of Honor anytime soon, he probably won't be there. Shocking to see it written out in public.
That sucks, man. That sucks. I really don't have a good answer for this. I don't know what. I can't get in the middle of two people because I don't know what was said and what was done. But I think that, Julio, you should go where you're loved and supported. And the city of Atlanta still loves and supports you. And whether you have a beef, we all have beefs with our jobs from time to time. I don't want that to get in the way of what you deserve and being celebrated. Because if not, I don't think that you'll ever get past. I think you're the greatest Falcon ever, but the world will continue to move forward too. And I think that you deserve it. I want to see you get it.
When
you didn't,
unfortunately, you're associated 28-3.
And then also harsh reality. After you left Atlanta, you didn't have anything else. So it's not like people are there's not like Peyton Manning who went to Denver and won them a championship, and then some of those people are like, oh yeah, I love Peyton Manning, or Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay, and you just didn't. After you left Atlanta, it was over. So we all you have, and you all we have. We hope you figure it out, big dog. Thoughts and prayers. I don't know what else
He
really.
signed with the Falcons to even retire his jersey,
Right.
Falcon, which is sad because every franchise great should have that. But we'll see. We don't gotta belabor the point.
And he's
man.
not technically retired yet, so still more time and hope and prayers and thoughts and prayers.
Okay. But you a Rondo.
But Reggie didn't put him out the pack.
But speaking of the Falcons, man, so it's off season, but it's really about to ramp up now. Free agency has come and gone, or it's still going, I guess. But for the Falcons, it's pretty much over with. We made a bunch of small signings. I think our biggest signing was Leonard Floyd, defensive end signed, and rush edge linebacker signed. Another overhill rusher. But the draft is in 1 month. So the draft is in 1 month, and there's a few things I want to talk about leading up to the draft. And of course, we'll probably do our own mock drafts. We got a mock draft coming with all of our other friends who represent their teams. And then, we have the draft. So with it being a month out as of today, I wanted to talk about the state of the offense first. Why the state of the offense? Because obviously we ain't really about to do nothing on offense in the draft. The Atlanta Falcons have the most expensive offense in the league. Yes, this graphic is kind of misleading. It's the most expensive offense in the league because of Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins were to leave, I think we drop down to, I think he's $50 million a year, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was yet to be determined, depending on what happens.
Well, I'm just talking about now. If we were to get rid of him free and clear, we would drop down to like 15th, 16th. So
right, yeah, somewhere in there for sure.
It's the state of the offense is we lost Drew Dahlman. We lost the only person I think we lost on offense was Dahlman, our center. Now our offensive line was the strength of our offense. We're one of the better run blocking offensive lines in the league, and our pass pro blocking was getting better. So by losing Dahlman, we have to replace the center. Now we have an undrafted free agent in Neuziel, Neuziel.
Ryan Neuziel. We signed him 1 year, $3.26 million. I'm not gonna go over all the signings because literally no signings have changed from last week. The only new one is we're in the process of signing Jordan Fuller to a 1 year deal. Contract deals pending. So we haven't really. We've made really one move since last Monday to this Monday. Shout out to you guys who are rocking with us.
So I mean, I knew on offense we weren't going to do much in the draft, though. It's already said. I guess in the draft, if we address anything, we're going to draft the center. We're going to do defense, center, maybe wide receiver. Depending now, if we trade Kyle Pitts, there's always that rumor that we might trade Kyle Pitts on draft day. There's always that rumor. But from what we've seen in the offseason, Kyle Pitts and Michael Penix have been working together and been hanging out, buddy, all of that. So Norwood said he can go anyway. But that remains to be seen. But I don't really see us making a high draft pick on offense. There's nobody in this draft that I would draft there's nobody in this draft that I would draft on offense that I would waste my number one pick on, because we're so set at receiver. We're so set at running back. Unless we trade Pitts, we're set at tight end. We need
the only thing that I could even imagine is if Tet drops and he's just there.
He just ran a 4.4. 4.4.
I agree, but I've seen drafts where he drops. If he's available, I'm a crazy person. Y'all know I always need offense over defense. And maybe I'm a 2K god, but I'm taking him.
You'd be fired. If your defense is bad next year, then you'd be fired. Because you have to address, and then you're gonna set up the offense for a defensive minded head coach to come in, and they're gonna Dan Quinn you, and take your team to the Super Bowl, and then be boo boo afterwards. They got them either taking Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, Malachi Starks. Now they interviewed the safety Nick Imawari from South Carolina, and Will Johnson from Michigan.
I see a lot of drafts where Will Johnson is available. I think that if he's available, my gut tells me, and my gut has been right. I'm going to tell y'all, since I've been potting, I have picked a guy pre-draft, and every guy that I've picked has been a world beater. One of those guys even has a Super Bowl. So I feel very confident if I pick Will Johnson, he's going to be a world beater. But that also means his ass is not coming to Atlanta. Just like Kyle Hamilton and just like Jalen Carter. But we're going to see. We're going
Jamar Chase. Pick Kyle Pitts over.
No, I think that was before we started potting. That's not one that I had. Maybe you had. I didn't have that one. That's not a hill I was dying on. I know the hills that I died on. The hills that I died on was Kyle Hamilton. Now, Drake London, it made me be very comfortable with that. Bijan has made me very comfortable with Jalen Carter. And I will say, I think that it's time for us, just like Onyeka Okongwu, it's time to trade Tyler Algier. Time to move him. Don't let you're not going to re-sign this asset to a bunch of money. Move him. He's a good running back. There are teams that will do it. I know it's not fun. Trust me on this. Take your emotions out of it. Just make a good decision. Trade Tyler Algier. Get you a pick or get you a player. But you trade him now because we never re-signing him. Especially now. Bijan's going to get re-signed and it ain't going to be cheap.
Yep. And speaking of not cheap, Kirk Cousins now is exerting his power through his no trade clause. We did not cut him, which we told y'all we weren't going to cut him, and we absorbed that $10 million hit. And we went over how all of that could end up coming off the books when he's traded. But he is not going to waive his no trades clause or accept the trade till after the NFL draft. Till after the NFL draft, because I'm paraphrasing, he basically doesn't want to happen what happened here in Atlanta, where they paid him, trade for him, and then they draft a quarterback to replace him.
I don't hate that.
But that's also not taking accountability. You got hurt and you ain't telling nobody. And you out there and you went and played boo-boo.
I'm not telling. I think that everybody's doing what's in the best interest of themselves. And I'm going to be real here. I don't think that Kirk owes us a whole lot because y'all did that and then drafted a quarterback. I think the Falcons did what was right for them. I think that Kirk Cousins is doing right for what him and his family think is the right decision. And I would feel like a hypocrite if I told you, oh no, well, he should have done X, Y, and Z. Hell no. Kirk Cousins wants to be a starting quarterback. He's not ready. Whether he can or cannot do it is up for debate. Literally up for debate too, because Kirktober was Kirktober. Now November, December was tragic. So he has a lot of good tape and a lot of bad tape. And I think that's just what you get from a guy at this point. But I think that we both understand that there are going to be teams that are going to try to do the Michael Penix. Hey, let me get a guy who can bridge me over, pause if applicable, get us to a situation where we win some games. And Kirk is notoriously good in October. I think that the Giants will be great to win some games. I think, the Steelers will be great to win. I mean, to a lesser degree, to win some games. But there are teams, and people kick my ass all the time about it. But Kirk taught this team how to win, and learning how to win is important.
Sure. Y'all just make sure if y'all do that, y'all give Terry Fontenot his credit for doing that a year earlier than y'all. He's doing what you just said is the exact same thing that he did. I said
no,
it last
give a black
week.
man credit for
Make
making
sure
good
y'all
decisions. Since when?
Everybody
When
said that was a bad decision. Everybody said that was a bad decision.
When have you seen the world give a black man credit for making good decisions?
Huh. I mean, never. But we know that.
Right. So don't expect it now. Damn, I sound like my dad. What's up? Do it sound like it's gonna change, Dr. Bar?
Yeah.
Well, no.